VAR. Used in England for the first time in January 2018 in an FA Cup tie between Brighton and Crystal Palace. Yes, it was used in the World Cup 2018 as well, but it was brought into the Premier League for the first time this season in 2019-2020. Now, apparently it's used to check goals, penalties, straight red cards and mistaken identity. Here's 5 reasons why VAR is absolutely ruining football. Right, morning fellas, welcome back to another Villa on Tour video, a slightly different one today. As you would have seen by the introduction, we are discussing VAR today. Now, it's been a massive talking point at the start of this Premier League season. Like I said, it's come into the Premier League the start of this season, and a lot of people don't like it, particularly us Villa fans. Now, I'm going to go through 5 reasons why VAR is ruining football in my opinion and why I don't like it. Reason number 1. Fans in the stadium, like myself, have got no idea what is going on at all. Now, let me talk about the McGinn example when he scored his first disallowed goal against Burnley at the weekend. It went in, brilliant, fans are going mad, we think it's 1-0, cool. Now, at that point, the screens don't come up with VAR review or anything like that. The announcer doesn't say anything until the referee's got the ball in his hand and given it to Burnley for the free kick. No idea at all. Now, Tottenham away, first game of the season. I think McGinn had a penalty shout. I think he had a red card shout as well. And that was brilliant because it came up on the screen. It said VAR decision reviewing red card. He came up with that or something along those lines. So we knew as fans, obviously we couldn't see it, but we knew what was going on. We knew that the ref was looking at something, so that's fine. Back to the McGinn example, the only reason I knew it was offside was because the referee did all this, put his arm in the air, and then walked it back to where the free kick should have been taken, gave it back to Burnley. I didn't know at that point it was offside. I didn't know whether it was a free kick or anything like that. The announcer said something, but I couldn't really hear it because it was loud in the stadium, obviously. They didn't put anything on the screens. I swear that VAR is meant to be on the screens so that fans know what's going on. The screens at Villa are a disgrace anyway. Like, the picture quality is awful. I can't see it because the nearest one to me sat in the Holt end. I can't see the one in the Holt end. I can only see the one at the other end in the North Stand, and that's miles away. I'm short-sighted. I can't see anything. Now, don't get me wrong. On TV, if you're watching, brilliant. It's drama, brilliant. If you're a neutral fan, even better, you know. If you haven't got an attachment to those teams, all you want is, you know, a bit of drama, VAR, brilliant. But if you're on the ground, no idea. If you're watching on TV, the commentators might be talking you through it. Yeah, that's better. But they should be looking at dealing with the fans in the ground. Those are the most important fans. Those are the ones paying money to watch it. Even at Anfield and Old Trafford, they don't even have big screens. So how are their fans ever going to know what's going on? Yes, the announcer on the tannoy could say something, but if you're in a stadium full of 70,000 people, are you going to hear that? Probably not. I've seen a few people talking about should you be able to hear the refs like they do in rugby. I think that would work really well on TV, but again, fans in the stadium, no chance. Reason number 2, all referees are mates. Now, there's a lot of talking around this referees union that is going around, and I agree. I think that is 100% a thing, and here's why. Now, don't ask me how this came about, but I was on Twitter talking to former Premier League referee Bobby Madley via DMs. I don't know how this happened. I think it was after the Grealish thing against Crystal Palace. But he was on TalkSport that day talking about Kevin Friend, and he said he didn't want to back him, but he also didn't want to throw him under a bus. Now, that's fine if they're mates, but that shouldn't be the reason why you shouldn't throw him under a bus. He should say, yeah, he's wrong, admit it, that's fine. But he didn't. He didn't say whether he was right or wrong. He just kind of just made up a few excuses. I think, who is it? I think there's some former Premier League referee on Sky Sports, Dermot Gallagher, that's the one. He will make up any excuse under the sun to defend the referee that's made a mistake. It's absolutely ridiculous. I'll come on to it later. The Socrates handball for Arsenal against Aston Villa. He was on there defending it, saying he was too close, whatever. Even Stephen Warnock on Sky Sports was like, Dermot Gallagher, mate, get a grip. It's so obvious. And it's so clear that Dermot Gallagher is doing anything in his power to defend the referees that have made the issue and have made the mistake, and it's clear to everyone who's watching that they've made a mistake. And I think there's been a lot of occasions so far this season where it's been so obvious that the VAR referee does not want to undermine the actual referee that has maybe missed something. Now, look at the Haller penalty against Norwich. Stonewall wasn't overturned. Why? Your guess is as good as mine. No idea. The Tielemans red card, where he could have broken, I think it was Callum Wilson's ankle. Was it a red card? No, wasn't overturned. Why? Your guess is as good as mine. Absolutely no idea. Any football fan who's looking at that thinks, yeah, red card, but the VAR referee does not want to overturn. They keep on banging on about this threshold where it has to meet a certain threshold to overturn a referee. No, there shouldn't be any sort of threshold. If he's wrong, then you should overturn it. It's so obvious that Tielemans one, where he stamped on his ankle, that's a blatant red card. Why not overturn it? If he's missed it, correct him. The VAR and referee should work as a team. They should work as a team to get the right decision. They shouldn't try and make excuses to you know, make the actual referee make his decision right. They should just work as a team to get the whole decision right, to get a better outcome. Another example, John Moss was the referee when Arsenal played Villa, and John Moss, experienced referee, brilliant. I've got no problem with him, really. But the VAR referee for that game was a Championship referee who wasn't qualified to himself referee Premier League games. So why is he giving advice to Premier League veteran referee John Moss? Why is he, you know, the Socrates handball, I'll come back to it, I'm going to refer to it a lot in this video, because I am a little bit salty about it, because it was a handball. Anyway, why is a Championship referee making decisions in a Premier League game? Do you know what I mean? It's like, he should say to John Moss, look John, you may have missed something here, go and look at the screens. I'll talk about the screens again later, but you know, it's just a bit of advice. He's not saying, John, you've made a massive mistake there, mate, anything like that. You know, he's just saying, John, you may have missed it, mate, go and make your own mind up. Because at the end of the day, John Moss is the actual referee. He should make the final call, not the guy who's a Championship referee. Reason number 3, and for me, this is the one that angers me the most. There is absolutely no consistency in decision making with VAR. Now, I'm going to talk about another example. Yes, it's referring to Villa again, but those are the ones that I see most often. Now, first game of the season, picture the scene, West Ham are playing Manchester City. Man City have a penalty. Brilliant. Aguero's going to take it. He goes up to take it. When he kicks the ball, Declan Rice encroaches in the box. He's inside the box. Aguero misses, but that's not the point. Mike Dean brings it back. You know, he looks at VAR. VAR has told him that Declan Rice was in the box. So according to the FA website, which, you know, have a look at this, says that the penalty should be retaken, which it was. Brilliant, fantastic, right decision, well done VAR, and then Manchester City score it. So yeah, right decision, no problem with that at all. However, when Arsenal played Villa, Pepe is about to step up for a penalty, exactly the same situation. When he connects with the ball, Aubameyang is in the box, and does anything happen? No, it doesn't. Why? I don't know. It is exactly the same, no consistency at all, whether it's because they don't know the rules, whether it's because they're lazy and can't be bothered to overturn it, I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. Absolutely no idea, because it is literally the same incident. Maybe not for that incident specifically, but that is why I think referees should have a look at the screen. In the World Cup 2018, VAR was a massive talking point, and referees went to look at the screen whenever a big decision had to be made. And at the time, I was like, oh, this is really boring. Surely the referee on the end of the VAR thing should be able to tell him whether that's right or not. But, you know, yes, it took a lot of time to go and look at the screens, but in my opinion, that is what referees in the Premier League should be doing, because at the end of the day, that referee who's been in charge of that game should make the final decision by looking at the screen, because when they're not looking at the screen, it's not their decision, but when they do, it is. Do you know what I mean? Bit complicated, but there you go. Again, with consistency, do referees actually know how to use VAR? Look at the Grealish incident at Crystal Palace. Kevin Friend blows the whistle when he thinks Grealish has dived, which he hasn't. Lansbury smashes it in, 1-1. If he had delayed the whistle blowing, it could have gone to VAR. If Grealish had dived, brilliant. It could have booked him, brought it back for a free kick to Crystal Palace. If he, you know, if he had let it go, we've scored the goal, it turned out he hadn't dived, then Kevin Friend isn't in the spotlight because he didn't blow in the first place. He might have thought it in his mind that he dived, but he could have looked at VAR afterwards, and if he had dived, then he could give it, but it turned out he didn't. So if, you know, just let it go on, we've scored, it can go to VAR, turns out he didn't dive or anything like that, we've got the goal legally, fine. So Friend in that incident has blown too early. If he let it go, we would have scored and got the goal like we deserved. But, you know, refs don't know how to use it. And look, even Bobby Madley, when I was talking to him, said it doesn't work right now brilliantly, but in the future it might. But why has it been brought in right now if it doesn't work? Why has it been brought into the Premier League, the best league in the world, biggest league in the world, the most important league in the world? Look, Aston Villa's Premier League safety is on the line, and it's been decided to an extent, decisions like that one at Crystal Palace. It has been decided by VAR, which even Premier League referees themselves say doesn't work brilliantly at the moment. Why has it been implemented this early when it doesn't work? It just does not work. Give it a couple of years, that's fine. Make sure it works, make sure referees know how to use it. Again, offside decisions, it's so tight. Look at these offsides. These have been called offside. Look how tight they are. One of these is in Spain, one of these is Son for Tottenham. How can VAR pick that up and not the blatant handball by Socrates? Comes back to referees not wanting to overturn their mate's decision. There you go. Also, just a quick one. What's the point in linesman? Look at this decision yesterday in the Man United Arsenal game. The linesman gave this as offside. How? How? And then Aubameyang goes through, scores, he thinks he's offside, but it turns out he's not. So what's the point in linesman? They're only there for throw-ins. You might as well have robots. Reason number 4, it takes way too long. Again, I'm going to bring it back to the John McGinn incident. The goal goes in, fans go mad, brilliant, yeah. It must have taken around 90 seconds to even a couple of minutes to make that offside call. Why did it take that long? As soon as the ball goes in the net, the VAR people should be looking at it. It doesn't take that long to make an offside call, surely. So it just ruins the fan experience a little bit. Fans are reluctant to celebrate goals after that even. I think Josh King, who plays for Bournemouth, he said, I think he scored a couple of goals against West Ham at the weekend. He said he was reluctant to celebrate his second goal because he was scared it was going to be ruled out for offside. It just ruins the whole experience a little bit. I know the offside calls are black and white, that's fine, but it takes way too long. Reason number 5, IFAB, who are the Premier League sort of rule makers, they make up all the rules, etc. They said VAR was brought in to eliminate all the scandals and talking points. Just hasn't done that, has it? Literally, if you listen to 606 Football Phone in TalkSport, whatever, pretty much all they talk about after, you know, a match day on a Saturday is VAR, and there you go. Is it right or wrong, etc, etc. So it's like, it's brought in to eliminate these mistakes, but it's literally all that people are talking about. It's bringing up scandals, the whole VAR thing. Even me making this video is like going against the point. So, you know, so that's not the real reason why, you know, VAR is ruining football, but even the lack of consistency in decisions, the referees not knowing how to use it, the fact that VAR people are reluctant to overturn their mates that are the referees in the referees union. Those are the real reasons why VAR is ruining football for me. Let me know your thoughts on the whole VAR thing. Is it working? Will it work in the future? Let me know. If you have enjoyed this video, please do leave a like, subscribe if you are new, and I will see you against Norwich, where we'll probably get a VAR decision going our favour now I've made this decision, because it will happen eventually. It just feels like, as a Villa fan, it's going against me at the moment, but there you go. See you on Saturday against Norwich. Up the Villa.